Happy NCSY Alumni Dvar Torah. My name is Rabbi Arieh from Cleveland, NCSY. I'm going to give you a little Dvar Torah now about Elul. It's Parshat Teitzei, but all I can really think about talking about is Elul. Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li, the time before Rosh Hashanah where we're supposed to be doing something. We don't really know what. It's kind of hard. We lead up to Rosh Hashanah, and what invariably happens is that we get to Rosh Hashanah, and we don't really know what we did with our time. We think about things that we want to improve and things that we wanted to improve a year ago and the year before that. And for me, and I think for a lot of other people, it's kind of repetitive. Sometimes we feel guilty that how come I'm here again? I haven't really perfected these things that I thought that I would. But more than that, I think there's somewhat of a hopelessness. Why even bother going through the motions when I know that I'm not going to become who I really want to become completely. So we get to Rosh Hashanah and we open the siddur and, okay, I'll do tshuva now. I'll try to be different now. But that's not even what Rosh Hashanah is for. The siddur doesn't have any tshuva in it. The siddur is all about Hashem being king and everything being great, and then we're like, oh, that's what Elul was for. But we spent the whole month of Elul dreading Rosh Hashanah that we just lose it. So what are we doing if we feel like this hopeless and this struggle to grow when we feel like we're not growing? Are we really growing? So I want to share a medrash that I heard brought down by Moshe Shapiro. Or he brought it down. I don't know where the medrash is from. The medrash is that when the Torah says Nasa Adam, that Hashem says, let us make man, plural, let us make man. So Rashi says he goes and he asks the angels. The medrash says that he asked the angels, should we make man? And some angels said no. Some angels said, yeah, let's make man. And some angels said, no, why would you make man? They're not going to follow the mitzvos. And there was a debate going back and forth. And Hashem, amidst this debate, while the debate was happening, made man in that debate. So Moshe Shapiro says, what does it mean? He asked the angels, but he didn't necessarily take their advice. Some said no. So he says the definition of man, their existence, is defined by that debate, is defined by that struggle. We are a existence that was created in the midst of a battle. And that's what we are. We're not going to succeed year by year and become different people. If someone's coasting along, that's bad news. That's a bad sign. You have to be struggling. If you're struggling, that means you're an Adam. That means you're doing well. Even if the things that you're struggling with are things that you struggled with before, that's okay. We don't know how much we've grown. And the fact that you're struggling for something is a positive. We're defined by that struggle, and it's great. And therefore, the goal isn't to fix our problems and become better people. The goal is to be mishtadel. The goal is to try. The goal is to fight that struggle. The result of that struggle, whether or not we succeed at whether we're doing, is not necessarily in our hands 100%. What is in our hands is to attempt, is to try to do something. And that's what Elul is for. It's to attempt, to define the struggle and define the battlefield and take a few weeks, a few days to really do something about it before Rosh Hashanah starts. So I hope we have a few weeks still before Rosh Hashanah starts, and we can still do that. So how do we do it? What exactly is that struggle? So I want to share one idea that I saw in the Nesiv Shalom. He says that in this week's Parshat Teitzei, one of the mitzvos that's discussed is the mitzvah of ma'akeh, to build a fence. When you make a new house, when you build a new house, you should put a fence around your roof on the top when they have flat roofs, so that no one would fall off. So there's other mitzvos that we learn from this. It's not just a fence on a roof. It's if you have a pit, you have to build a fence around a pit. If you have generally things that are going to be an obstruction, that are going to cause people to become injured or to die, you have to protect those structures from causing damage. It's your responsibility. So the Nesiv Shalom asks, why do we pick this example of a roof? There's lots of other ones that we could have picked, the Torah could have picked. Why did it start with this one? So he says that Kisiv Bayis Chadash means when you build a new house, it's not just circumstantial that if you happen to buy a new house, this is what you do. Rather, he's saying that there are some times in life when you have to build a new house. When you're going in one direction, you're doing something, you have a habit, and you say, I want to have a different path. I want to do things in a slightly different way than I have before. I'm building for myself something new, right? I'm building a new house. When you build a new house, when you're creating a new aspect of the structure of who you are as a human being, right? That the human being also is, and all over of Hasidus and other places, is compared to a house. So how do you start when you build a new house? Ma'ake gagach, you have to you have to make a fence for your roof. And the Alumni Rabbi explains that roof, being the top of the house, corresponds to the top or the head of something, the beginning of something. And what he's saying is that if you want to build a new house, if you want the entire structure to be successful, you have to create the fences for the beginning of that process, for the top of that process, the Rosh Hashanah. And therefore the suggestion is, that I'm going to lay out hopefully for myself, is that we're not trying to be someone different for the next 12 months. We're not trying to create New Year's resolutions that I'm going to be someone different, I'm going to be who I wanted to be. Because honestly, it doesn't work. We all know it doesn't work. And perhaps even in a deeper level, we know it's not going to work. So when we make those commitments, we know that they're not true commitments. What you have to do is make a ma'ake l'kagacha, just for the roof, just for the top. There's 3 weeks from now to Rosh Hashanah. Consider who you want to be in 12 months from now. The person that you wish you could be to overcome whatever challenges or struggles that it is that you're going through. And don't say, I'm going to do this for the next 12 months or I'm going to change who I am entirely. Consider who you wish you could be in 12 months and just do it now. Just l'gagacha, just for the rooftop, just for the Rosh, the beginning part. 3 weeks from Elul to Rosh Hashanah, making a commitment. And don't worry about after Rosh Hashanah. After Rosh Hashanah, you can do whatever you want. But for now, do it the right way. And the Alumni Rabbi says that there should be a bracha, that if you do it in the right way at the beginning, then that will lead to everything else. So the way that we can use the hachana now of Elul before Rosh Hashanah is to take a few minutes and to consider those things that we do want to do better and do differently, and make very, very, very small commitments for a short period that we know that we can follow through. And hopefully we should all find a bracha that those things aren't so scary. Kisei l'machama, we go out into that battlefield of that struggle that we're always going to have. We pick small struggles that we can overcome in small ways, and we should find a bracha that Hashem can lead that for the rest of our lives and take our struggle into a success, and we can coast only in good directions. Good job.